When did your dad leave?
Take that down. What?
When did your dad leave?
When did my dad leave?
When? How old were you?
I think I was about 5, 4. I think 71 or 2. Officially,
when did he die?
Oh man, 91.
So you was what, 25, 26, 27?
Yeah. 91. It was. I think you was about 2. And he called me on the phone.
Who?
He called me on the phone.
You had never seen him after you was 5?
No, I hadn't seen him. I think I had dealt with him a lot more than a lot of other people did. Like, when, we used to always take the little Cedar Point trips. Because we had the charter bus. And then this one time I went with him and his wife. And they talked about me because I was in them Husky vans. I had the Husky jeans on. And I came back and told my Uncle Charles' wife, Carol. And she called over there and threatened him. And then, when I got in middle school, I was playing football. And he had my other brothers, Damon and Dion. And I was playing football. And he bought my forearm pad. And I think he came to one football game that year, maybe even 2. But later on in that year, I had stayed the night over there and got accused of taking his gun. He had a little gun in the car, in the house. And they assumed that I had taken it. And I had, I never, I didn't take it. And come to find out, he had some other family members that was over there, and they was, had kleptomania as a personality. They actually had it was a klepto. And then, after that, I dealt with him again in the 9th grade, I think it was. And then, again, when I was a junior in high school, I was on varsity basketball. And he came to a basketball game.
Are you outside?
But every Christmas, regardless of what, he would put an envelope. He would slide an envelope through the mail chute with everybody's name on the envelope with like $5. And then after that, we was going to do in the studio, and he had came in the studio, and it's the only time I had ever worked with him on music. And we was getting ready to record. And he came in, got on the piano at the studio. And to do the Yes, Jesus Loved Me, his version. And I think he showed up a couple times there. And after that, I didn't see him again till I was helping him over at Wayside Baptist, put paneling up, and that's when he had prostate cancer. He had on some red jeans, some blue jeans, and he began to bleed. And the jeans I had to take him to his Eternal Medicine spot on 6 Mile. And then after that, wasn't 2 months longer after that, I was staying over Heidi, and he called me. He had heard what me and your mom was going through, and he tried to tell me something, and I was like, man, I don't want to hear that. It's like he was like almost trying to compare, you know. I was like, man, I don't want to hear that at all, you know. And I said, it don't have nothing. That don't have no bearing. I mean, whatever I got to do to see mine, I'm gonna do. So I don't know about you, but nah. She ain't be able to, you know, I remember specifically telling him, she ain't be able to run me away. She ain't be able to tell me I ain't gonna see mine. I remember telling him that. So ain't nobody gonna tell me that I ain't gonna be able to see my kid. You was on a different planet. There's no reason for you not to see 7 kids. And furthermore, this was our conversation. Furthermore, for your mother and your father never to come by, pick us up, come see us, visit us at all. All they ever said was, if you want to see us, come to the church. So at that point, you know, I was like, man, I'll talk to you later. And then, like, 2 weeks later, he was dead. He had an aneurysm. So that just put another log on my fire. Like, I understand circumstances and all, you know. I think he was defeated by what had taken place in his life in a lot of areas. And so, even his, you know, prowess or ego, I think a lot of that played a big part into it. And he had an ego too he had to deal with. But he was a giver. He was a giver. I've learned since he's passed and come across a lot of people, a number of people. Dietrich Haddon's people, Maddie's people. He helped a lot of people. Like, he was a stepping stone for a lot of people. A lot of people in the gospel industry, everywhere. He helped a lot of people. He was a builder. You know, so I got that. The thing is that that's just not, that's not what I'm getting. That's not the outcome that God has for me. You know. Why you ask?
What did I ask initially? I forgot. Oh, when did he leave?
Yeah.
Because like I said, I've been dealing with a lot of stuff on my own, like seeing who I am and stuff. And like my mother, like I didn't necessarily grow up a single child, but I spent a lot of time with my mother. And dealing with women, like Brooke took care of me for the most part. And me being like an independent man and seeing, you know, relationships between, you know, men and women. And it gets confusing in the fact of, like, my mom, she's my mother. So when she says I have to listen, but she's also a woman. And when you deal with relationships, like, you know, when I, like, got a girl or whatever, and they say little things just to, you know, get you to react, to see how you will react. It's like I almost had to be submissive to a woman. I had to be submissive to my mom. You know, even though I knew some things she was just saying, but I still had to listen to her. And so I was thinking, like, why does my mom, being a woman, not to say that they're lesser or anything, but my mom being a woman and just how women are, affect what you say? And I was like, that kind of goes into the same fact of you listening to a woman. And so then I thought, like, well, when did your dad leave? Because you might have the same thing towards things that women say affect you. Some men it doesn't. You know, and some men it does. Sometimes some men, what women say really matters, you know, and we listen to everything. So it just makes sense. Like, you might have the same syndrome as to what women say affects you more than the other men. I mean, what other women say. So that's why I asked what he meant.
Well, part of that, I mean, yeah. And it is effective. You do have to listen. In any relationship, you have to listen. Both people have to listen. You being submissive, I don't think there's nothing wrong with you listening. You know, that's a good man that can listen.
But reacting and
internalizing
what they say.
Now that's another battle. And that's part of what, you know, because they were coming in a society where men was all. You know, and my mom always had an opinion. She was very opinionated. She was strong-willed. And there's some women out here that's good women and strong-willed that you do have to listen to. I mean, it just, you know, you'll probably make the final decision, but all in all, you need to be a good listener.
Right, but my thing is just the effect. And, you know, sifting out what you should actually be listening to.
And what you should.
And what you shouldn't.
And how it affects you.
And how it affects you. Because, you know, like I said, if the woman has always been the dad, for the most part, or just, you know, the authority, whatever, or decision maker, when you have a relationship or a girlfriend or whatever, it's like, sometimes those things, your roles can get switched, confused.
It's not a role. You just got to be able to listen. It's a relationship. It's a give and take. And it's hard because society dictates exactly how they think you should be. But a good relationship comes from two people listening to each other. That's the purpose, I believe, the purpose of a friendship first.
I agree.
In any relationship, because the person has to build trust. Right now, people use it as a weapon. You know, it's a weapon. Or, you know, and sometimes, it's kind of funny. In some ways, we're gonna stay 75. In some ways, you know, some people like to think they're the end-all, be-all. Like, here's my way, or the highway and all of that. Okay, well, you keep making that decision, you gonna always be on the highway. At some point, it's gonna be our way, you know. And men, in that regard, this is where we have to learn, because the roles did get confused and can be confusing, you know. And the syndromes, it's not just one syndrome. There's syndromes where people feel as though, you know, one parent plays both roles. No, one parent is just doing more than their share. And, you know, how some people will say, you know, I'm a mama and a daddy. You know, I could never be a mother, and they could never be a father. They just are doing way too much. You know, it's like the overcompensation. Like, you can depend on your right ankle so much that your left ankle become weak. And that's what happens in these syndromes. You know, then we have a lot of men who only see it one way. And see, the thing is that if a mother, you've been blessed because your mother didn't live improper in front of you. Imagine if your mother had lived the improper life in front of you.
But I know what she was doing behind the scenes. I mean, cut that off, Calvin. I'm serious, cut that off.
What was that about?